Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go three abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a breath. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It's Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. And we are so glad that you have joined us. Now, Aaron Evernham is on special assignment. I'm on special assignment, but Ashley Stremme, she is holding down the fort in the Hercules Tires studios. Hello, Ashley. How are you?
I'm great. Always good to catch up with you on a Tuesday for once. We always do this on Saturday, but it's so nice to do this on a Tuesday for once.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're doing this. I'm via Skype, and I'm looking, and I have got a huge head. Okay, I can see we made some adjustments, and I'm going to move back to get my head a little bit smaller. There we go. Maybe that's it.
Well, hey, it's not always a bad thing to have a big head, right?
Well, not in my instance. Maybe not in yours, but in mine. Who knows? Who knows exactly? So, hey, you just been on a whirlwind tour there of the Midwest, right?
Yeah, actually, we just got back from 4 or 5 days in Illinois. So we did some racing while we were up there over the Labor Day weekend. Obviously, one of the bigger race weekends of the year. So it's always good to get out. But and then this weekend, Aaron will be filling in for me because I'm flying back out to the Midwest to go to Kansas with the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars in Dodge City. So super excited about that.
You're doing the Boot Hill Showdown.
Yes.
Oh, man, you are going to be in high cotton, that's for sure.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Boot Hill Showdown. I mean, that's Dodge City, Kansas. I love the name of that race. It's like the name of that race always, I love the name of it. It sounds good. So you're going to have a ball.
I'm just excited to check a new track that I've never been to off my list.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let's take a look at it. Our classicing, spring printing, and embroidery hot topics. Okay, World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars up at Huset's. Saturday night, I don't know if you saw any of this, Ashley. I know you were busy doing your own racing deal. But, boy, I'll tell you what, they had some problems. Every team, I think, had a right rear flat. Sheldon had his first, was able to race forward and get the win. How about that?
Yeah, we always talk about tire management, and, Kyle Larson was able to manage his tires, and unfortunately, it didn't work out in his favor in that one. It was all about who blew the first tire to get a new one.
No doubt. I thought for a while watching it on Dirt Vision, I thought for a while, I'm like, okay, Kyle is going to be all right because his wasn't smoking. And it turns out he had better tire management than everyone else, but still not enough. And so he ended up the last one, which is the worst spot to be in, I guess, in that situation. Sunday, much better conditions and well. Then Kyle Larson became Kyle Larson and picked up the win, $20,000. Ollie's Bargain Outlet, All-Star Circuit of Champions. Good to have them back in Attica. It's been a weird year for the All-Stars. But things somewhat back to normal. Friday night, Tim Shaffer picked up the win, the Steel City Outlaw. Always cool to see Shaffer back in victory lane, Ashley.
Yeah, especially with this new team that they're building with the 28, and we're going to chat with him here later, so it'll be exciting to see what he has to say about how this year has gone.
Yeah, certainly will. Rico Abreu picked up the win on Saturday night, so look forward to that. Watched a lot of flow racing this weekend and a lot in Dirt Vision as well. Friday night, Williams Grove, Freddie Raymer took it off from Anthony Macri. I don't think Anthony Macri was appreciative of the close quarter slide job coming off from turn number 4, but Freddie got the win. Saturday night, Brent Marks picked up the win at Port Royal. Ashley, the midsection of this race, and we're going to give it a listen here in a little bit, but the midsection of this race with Brent and Anthony Macri and Lance Deweese, I'm telling you, I'm on the back porch. I'm screaming at my flow racing. I mean, the racing at Port was phenomenal on Saturday night.
Unfortunately, like you said, I didn't get to see much of it. We were busy doing things, but you try to always go back and catch the highlights, and it was pretty spectacular. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Brent Marks picked up the win. Speaking of spectacular, down at the fabulous Lincoln Speedway, it was Danny Dietrich. He started, he started 14th in the first one and won it. Started 8th in the second one and won it. Both of them, the first one, he had like a lap and a half left, I think, when he passed Monteith. The last one, he passed Gladfelder coming off from turn number 4. And the first, like Steve Smith, I think, did it 17 years ago. But this is only the second driver to win the Twin 20s was Danny Dietrich. So pretty cool night for Dietrich for sure.
Yeah, I know he'll enjoy putting that stat in his notebook as well. He's all about, kind of checking off those things that not many people have done. So I know he's going to enjoy adding that one to the list.
For sure. And then we get to the Anthony Macri portion of the weekend in Pennsylvania. Selinsgrove on Sunday night and Port Royal on Monday for the Labor Day Classic. It was all Anthony Macri, and everyone in Pennsylvania, Ashley, is gearing up for the Tuscarora 50, $53,000 on the line. And it looks like we've got some guys that the locals there are pretty gassed up and ready to go.
Yeah, and of course, all the out-of-towners coming in for such a big weekend. 3 days with the All-Stars on Thursday, then the night before the 50, and then, of course, like you said, the 53,000 for the Tuscarora 50. Everyone's from everywhere is coming for this race. It's huge. It's Fair Week, which is always exciting, and I'm just really sad that I can't be there this year.
I know. A lot of sentiment about that, and just the way things are. It's a 2020 deal, that's for sure. Wayne County Speedway was the Pete Jacobs Memorial, $13,000 to win. The winner was Cap Henry, continuing what has been an awesome season for Cap Henry. How about this one? The 8th annual Race Saver Nationals at Eagle Raceway in Nebraska. This is the top race for the 305 IMCA Race Saver teams, and Jake Bubak picked up the win, nearly 90 cars. Jake's been close. He finished third, and fourth the last 3 years. He picked up the win. We're going to talk to Jake, but pretty neat event. One of those that doesn't get a lot of coverage. It's 305 racing. We understand where that's all at, but when you become the best in the country, looking forward to chatting with him, and should be fun to see, get his take on it. And finally, I love this one up at Land of Legends Raceway in Canandaigua. It was Ashley Bay picking up the win. Now, she also picked up the 305 championship, okay? And she is the first female track champion at Canandaigua, or Land of Legends as it's now known. First female track champion. Ashley, 67 years. Good to see a girl representing everything up there in Canandaigua for sure.
I couldn't agree more. It's good to see those glass ceilings or those barriers being broken. So congratulations, Ashley.
Yeah, fun stuff. She did good. I you know what? I said that wrong. It's Alicia.
Yes, Alicia.
Yeah,
yes.
I get my L-Y's, E's, and everything else all mixed up. And I'm talking to Ashley, and we're talking about Alicia. And so need to make sure we get that right. After all, she's the champion up there.
Right.
So Alicia Bay, congratulations. And there you have it, our Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. Of course, offering full custom driver apparel and crew wear options, full service embroidery department specializing in headwear and outerwear, an experienced sales team, a dedicated sales department. I'm telling you, Ashley, ClassicInkUSA.com. That's where you need to go for all your screen printing and embroidery needs.
Absolutely. It's not just racing. They do local businesses, school districts, sports teams, you name it. They work with some of the best in the business. Sheldon Hodenshield, Donnie Schatz, Danny Dietrich. Heck, we even use them. They do all our stuff for David Stremme and Lethal Chassis. So be sure to give ClassicInkUSA.com a check out. Go give them a call. Tell Tyler we sent you.
There we go. Nice stuff for sure. Hey, speaking of nice stuff, I mentioned this when we're talking about the headlines. The race at Port Royal on Saturday night was a thriller until we had one of those late race cautions that got him single file and out of traffic, and then it was Brent Marks checking out. But give this a listen. It was Lance DeWeese, Anthony Macri, and Brent Marks. It is on Flow Racing. It's our Dryden Diesel all death-defying move of the week. How about this? Check this out on Flow Racing.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Here comes Brent Marks. He's side by side with Whittle. They're 3 and 4. He's going to squeeze by him here. Coming into the 4. They both slide up. But Brent Marks, your new leader past the flag stand.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official death of the world of outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
performance.
We are.
We are. We are Team Dryden.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers, whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. So glad you joined us here, continuing our conversation, talking sprint car racing, and joining us fresh off from a trip to Victory Lane at Attica on Friday night. The Steel City Outlaw, Tim Shaffer, is there. Hello, Tim. Welcome back to Wing Nation. I'm not sure if we've lost Tim, if we don't have Tim, or if we've me.
Yeah, there.
All right. Hey, Tim, what's going on, man? How are you?
Just at the tire shop getting some inner tubes for tractors at home.
You're getting
There you
inner
go.
tubes for your tractor, your lawn tractor?
Yeah, I have a 90 horse diesel tractor. I got a batwing mower and I got a tire. Had to get a tube for it, and just leaving the place here, so you have my full attention here in a second.
There we go. Absolutely. Caught Tim Shaffer right in the middle of life. I guess that's 2020 for you, as we're all working our way through it. Tim, you picked up the win at Attica. You won at Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago. Looks like you have that 28 car rolling along pretty good.
Really is. It's been looking really good. You know, this past weekend was good to, won at Attica, and then ran sixth the next night, third last Sunday at Wayne County.
You talk about this 28 team, Tim, obviously building it. What have been kind of the high spots and the low spots of building this 28 team and getting that victory this past weekend?
Just like anything. I mean, it just takes a lot of time to get personnel. It's harder and harder to find guys that work on these things. And to have a good group of guys and have fun at it, too. That's the biggest thing. This weekend we raced good and we had a good time. It was fun, relaxing. You don't really have the gun to your head where you got to. I still do it for a living. Still got to make things happen, but it's not like it used to be back in the day.
Tim, I want to go back to Friday night, and you alluded to this in your Victory Lane interview. As the going got late, you had to search around, and you'd said, I think in Victory Lane, your quote was, "It's Attica, you got to search around." Did you have a hunch something was up top there, or did you just whoop there and hope to try and find it, or how does a driver search around and find something like that?
Well, Attica, it's always been tricky like that. But your car's got to allow you to do it, too. That's the other thing. I was able to move around, move to the bottom of 3 or 1 and 2, and it helped a bunch. Because I can hear Shane down there. I heard Zach Hodgfield there for a while. And then I seen Shane, and I knew I had to move. A lot of times your car won't allow you, but I was able to move down and was able to hit the marks and, save us the win. And that's the thing with Attica. It's pretty unique place. I've seen that track change, a line 3 different times throughout a 40-lapper. So it always keeps you on your toes.
And that's what makes it enjoyable for the race fans. Things are always changing, and then you throw guys, like you said, Shane Stewart and Jack Hodenshield into it. Tim, your 67th All-Star win, it ties you with Frankie Kerr on the second all-time win list for the All-Stars. Is that something that when you started your career, that you kind of wanted to etch your name in a book somewhere, showing that, you were able to do great things like this and tie somebody like Frankie Kerr for second on the all-time win list?
It's never even came a thought in my mind. It's amazing. I have had a great career. I didn't even look, that's pretty neat. It's pretty wild, but I still got some years left in man. Hopefully, we can get 4 wins, and instead of being tired, we can get ahead of Frankie. I respect Frankie a lot. Basically lived at his house for about 4 years back in the '90s. He's taught me a lot. And then Vic are great people, and the kids, they're growing up now. It's love to see them. I get to see them at Charlotte about once a year. It's amazing how grown up the kids are and stuff. So, just a pretty neat deal. They're harder and harder to get too. I mean, it's you got a lot of great teams out there. So, I mean, the wins are always hard to get, but they seem a little tougher. This year with the 2020, all the BS that's going on with all that, basically shorten our season up, not running as much. Not for me. I've seen the All-Stars where they got to travel a lot, and the Outlaws where they're getting raced in. I wasn't that fortunate. My guys work full-time jobs, and it's hard to get away.
Yeah, 2020 has certainly been that way, that's for sure. Tim, you talk about wins are more difficult to come by. And I don't need any specifics or anything. Has the driving, have the racing changed over the years? I mean, I know the level of competition, the money in the sport, the well-funded teams in the sport, there's a lot of them out there. I mean, it's just, look at Attica, my God. Two-thirds of the field are well-funded teams that are rolling along. But is the driving, is the racing, is it still similar, or is it a little bit more aggressive now than it used to be? Has that changed over the last few years?
No, I just think you got more quality teams out there. Where it makes it harder because everybody's got the good stuff and they got personnel and they're set up to do it right. Years ago, it was, the teams wasn't as funded. And, there wasn't as much money to move around, per se, to build yourself a better team. And the All-Star deal is really tough now. They have a bunch of teams out there that have the money to hire guys to work on it full time to better ourselves, where we didn't have that before.
To kind of piggyback off of that, obviously funding is everything. But Tim, how much in the years that you've been a part of this sport, obviously a veteran, the technology, some of it has changed, some of it has not. We know that shocks, tires are the probably the finest tuned thing right at the moment. But your opinion on that and how every team has gotten better at finding that little niche and becoming stronger each and every season.
Yeah, that shock game has really become huge. It really has. You need to have a dyno in the trailer nowadays. It's amazing. Back in the old days, you got 2 screwdrivers and put it between it, put it in your legs and your hands and hold it up and down. That was your dyno. But today, honestly, the technology has advanced so much. It is amazing where it's on. And honestly, like the Springfire Road's a lot weaker than a late model stuff. I mean, they're really ahead of time on their springs, their shocks, and all that. It's just a neat process, and I can still be involved and still be competitive, and I still really enjoy it and love it. It's really fun for me.
Yeah, no doubt, and it should be, especially getting wins like you have over the last 2 weekends. That is certainly the case. Tim Shaffer, our guest here. Tim, your ride situation, you drive the 28 of Brian Grove, is what you ran this last couple of weeks, but then we see you in the Rutzik car, which you were in, and then out and back in again. We saw it out in Knoxville. How is that all balanced? How is that all put together, and how did it all come together for both of those teams for you to work together on those?
Yeah, it's tough too. He's trying to get 2 teams to race together, but basically they have a new Charlie Garrett engine, which I've had a relationship with Chris for a long time, and his stuff is just awesome. His engine program is awesome, and ideally, like the 28 team didn't have the engines to run the big tracks, and that was the idea of the 49 having with the Charlie Garrett engine that we can go and be competitive, put ourselves in position to win on a bigger track. And they didn't want to race as much, which worked out good for both parties because Brian can only race so many. If he could do 30, 40, and the 49 do 10 to 15, that gives me enough races to make a living, you know, hopefully without burnouts and stuff. But yeah, and it's working out pretty good. And like any time, it's hard with partners or trying to get two different teams to get along. You know, it's basically almost impossible. But it's been pretty good. Everybody understands what's going on, and you know, it's about. I enjoy it too. You know, I mean, there's a lot of money involved, and we need to make things happen. And it, you know, trying to have personnel, you know, from two different teams, and a lot of times the other guys can't make it, you know, and so it goes back to basically building and trying to build two teams out, you know, and we're running them out of one trailer, which, you know, Brian Groves, hats off to him that, you know, he's bent over backwards, got his truck and trailer up and down on the road with it, you know, it's pretty wild. I mean, it's just, and we don't know what's going on from weekend to weekend, you know, obviously with this kind of season. Kind of make plans last minute and go with it, you know. And it's, even now the schedule, like I can almost make a schedule, but you can't because everything keeps changing and different races are popping up. And so this month, September, is going to be strong on money. So hopefully we can go get some more of it.
Well, like you said, Tim, you've just got to go with it. It's been absolutely crazy, and you're making it incredible. But I'm curious. Obviously, you are a Hall of Fame Knoxville Iowa Sprint Car Hall of Fame inductee this year. What does that mean to you? Obviously, incredible. What was the phone call like when you got that phone call?
Pretty much in shock. You know, it's pretty amazing. I look back, and you know, a lot of it I got a man cave basically down in the basement with different trophies. And sometimes I go down there and just look at things and don't realize how many places I've been and won. And you know, and it's always been a lot of it's work, it's time consuming, but you sacrifice so much to do it. You know, that's the thing, that the sacrifice. You're always gone, and, you know, from family and friends and not being at home, and you know, then you get something like inducted in that, then it makes it all worthwhile.
Worthwhile indeed, and whenever they have this ceremony, you'll be inducted, and we'll look forward to that. Tim, always love watching you race. Hopefully we'll catch up with you somewhere along the way so we can pour a cold frosty one and share some more time and share some more stories. But congratulations on the big win at Attica. Wish you the best getting that tire repaired on the tractor, and wish you the best with whatever comes the rest of the season.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
There we go. Tim Shaffer joining us here on Wing Nation on the Sage Fruit guest line. Ashley, I find that interesting, okay? He mentions now every team has a shock dyno, where it used to be a screwdriver holding the shocks between their legs. Isn't that that's a great description of what it used to be and what it is now in the sport?
Oh, absolutely. You know, they used to say that trailers never won races, but that's really changed as technology has really kind of grown the last few years. Like you said, a shock dyno, you know, but there's things about the sprint car world that haven't changed. We're still setting cars up on blocks from 70s, 80s, you know, so it's cool to hear him say that because he has been in the old school and he is venturing into the new school and trying to navigate that and doing well.
Yeah, no doubt. They're still working in parking lots, hotel parking lots, and everything else. So that's why we love our sprint car racing. You know, the absolute number one pit utility vehicle in sprint car and midget racing is a custom mule conversion from HRP. It starts with a solid platform, dependable, great-looking Kawasaki mule, customized and built to each customer's specifications.
Of course, they've got options like generators, air compressors, shock and radius rod racks, amazing toolboxes and drawers, LED lighting, walk-on roofs, you name it. There's so much more. HRP mule conversions perform, outlast, and maintain their value better than any other utility vehicle out there. HRP Mules is raising the standard again in pit utility vehicles.
Stay with us. Always great to hang out and talk to the Steel City Outlaw. When we return, Jake Bubak, fresh off from a big win out in Eagle, Nebraska. He joins us next.
Power isn't born, It's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Hey Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honeycrisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey!
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy. Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Having a ball here, and one of the big events that always has kind of been a bucket list that just never is going to work out time-wise because it's Labor Day weekend, and we all know there's so much going on, is the IMCA Race Saver Nationals out in Eagle, Nebraska. This is where this year nearly 90 305 teams converged on that great racetrack, and when they got done, it was Jake Bubak joined in Victory Lane. He joins us now via the Dryden hotline. Hello, Jake. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
Well, congratulations, Jake. I'm looking at your results from this event the last couple of years. You had a third place, and a fourth place. It had to be good to get a number one to go along with those top four finishes this past weekend.
Yeah, we've been really close every time we've raced there, and we were able to finally get it done this year. So it was a big relief.
Jake, what's it like when you roll into the Nationals there, knowing that there's 90 solid cars that you have to compete against?
It's pretty tough, but for the most part, you kind of know about the top 10 who you're going to be racing with, just based on previous years and the people that show up. There's a couple really fast local cars there that, they're always going to be up front, and then you have guys like Jason Martin and a lot of times Jack Dover, John Carney, that are 360 guys for the most part, or 410 guys even, that come back and run that race. And so the competition's really, really high.
Jake, this is one of those races that we have people from IMCA reach out to us all the time and say, you need to get out here, and just the way the schedules work out and the way everything works out, it's a tough weekend for any of us to get out there. Can you describe to us the event? I saw a driver opening, introductions. There was lights. There was all kinds of stuff. It's a big festival all weekend long. Can you kind of describe the scene, the atmosphere of this race weekend out at Eagle?
The fans are awesome there. And then the announcers and everybody there for driver intros, they really get the fans into it. They turn the lights off, and the fans have, glow sticks and stuff like that, and they turn the music up loud, and it's a pretty cool event. They really get the fans into it, and then there's racing all night long because there's so many cars, and everybody races every night. So there's a lot of racing going on.
No doubt. Obviously, you have been doing eight win streak right at the moment, and the last several have come in just in the last few weeks. What have you guys found on that car that has really set you up to find these victories like you have the last few weeks?
We've been going to track that I have a lot of laps at. 2 weeks ago, we went to Dodge City for the Lubbock Wrecker Service 305 Nationals, and we won it. We swept it the year before, and we were real close to winning it 3 years ago. So I'm not sure, but the Coyote Candle Company 74B car that I run, it's top-notch equipment, and we go out there and expect to win every night, and the car owner expects me to win every night. So there's definitely a lot of pressure, but the equipment and everything is there to perform every place we go to.
Okay, now I've got to ask about this, and I saw this. The Coyote Candle Company. Okay, is this describe who they are, the business? I mean, is this a a huge candle company? You get all the stores, a mom and pop shop. Who are they? And a candle company sponsor a sprint car team. That's pretty cool.
Well, it's not candles anymore. They moved in. It's mostly just furniture store and garden pots and stuff like that now here in Lubbock. And it's the car owner's company. It was him and his girlfriend, Ben Offill and Tammy Inslee. They started it like 20-ish years ago. And now it's turned into a very nice furniture store here in town that it's very popular, and they have very high-end furniture. It's really nice stuff.
Jake, you mentioned Ben and Tammy. I was scrolling through your Facebook earlier today, and unfortunately, it looks like you lost your car owner, Tammy, just a few weeks ago. How much was she a backbone of this team and what you do every single weekend in that sprint car?
She was a really big part. She didn't come to a lot of races, but she ran the store when Ben and I would go out and race, and I mean, that was a huge deal for them to be able to stay open and continue the funding for the team. But yeah, it was a horrible loss for sure, and it's kind of put a little bit of momentum in us to go out and try and make her proud.
Well, you certainly did. That's for sure. Picking up that win in the Nationals this past weekend. One of the unique characteristics of the Nationals are you start 3 wide. Okay. Now you were fortunate. You got to start on the outside, but can you describe what is that like? I mean, we do the 3 wide salute with ASCS and the 4 wide salute, but then we go down to double file formation. What is that like? And you start on the outside. Have you started in the middle? What is that like? How treacherous is that coming to the green flag?
I'm really not a big fan of it, especially at Eagle, because it's not a very big track. Fortunately, I've never had to start in the middle, but I have had to start a long ways back, and yeah, it's pretty treacherous. That's a lot of cars, 3 wide. It's just there's not a lot of room, and everyone wants to win that race, so everyone's real aggressive. But fortunately, I think there's only been one incident, and that was last year. They tore up a bunch of cars coming to the green, but other than that, it's been actually not too bad.
IMCA is very well known for their 3 wide salute. They do it in the modifieds too, and I can tell you when your driver is starting mid pack in the middle, it's not enjoyable by any means. But Jake, even obviously in the 74B, you're also driving the 1X here and there. What's that like, piecing a schedule together and going back and forth between the two?
It's pretty tough, especially this year with COVID. We lost probably our first 15 or 20 races. But yeah, I'm fortunate to drive for actually multiple teams. I drive for another guy out of Colorado. I run his sprint car and midget pretty frequently. This year I haven't got to race for him just because of COVID and everything. But it's really tough, but I'm very fortunate to have the Osh family there in Jetmore, the 1X, and I'm getting ready to get back in that car on Friday night at Dodge City for the Outlaw race, so really excited for that. But it's great to have good car owners and be able to race as much as we can, especially in the times we have right now.
Jake, is this what you do for a living, or do you have other work that you do, or piecing this all together? Is that your primary gig? How does that work for a guy trying to carve out your niche here in the 305 world?
Yeah, last year I just raced for a living. This year with COVID and everything, I have a good friend here in Lubbock that works with me. It's KRS Fabrication, Kelly Simmons, and he lets me work when I need, and then he lets me leave whenever I need to go race. So he knows that racing is my number one priority. But it's really cool to be able to still work for him, and then a lot of times he comes out on the road with us and helps. So it's great to have a boss like that still allows me to go out and do what I love.
That's awesome when you can balance the two and actually intertwine them in that case. You say fabrication, so what is it that you actually do there? What are you fabricating?
We build a lot of cantilever gates for private security, house gates for I don't know, businesses, stuff like that. That's a lot of what we're doing, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm taking a little break from welding to come out here and talk to you guys.
Well, fascinating stuff. It never ceases to amaze me what we all do and how things all work out and how it all comes together as well. Jake, I'm telling you, like I said, it's one of those races that I would love to get to sometime. Love the fact that you finally got a chance to get the win on Sunday night down there. Wish you the best with the Outlaws this weekend and on throughout, but thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
There we go. Jake Bubak joining us here on Wing Nation on the Dry Dean Hotline. Ashley, it sounds like he's coming to see you this weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to have to actually go up and give a chat with him and actually meet him in person instead of just chatting with him on the phone.
This is one of those races, this IMCA Race Saver Nationals. I love the concept of this. I love the ideas. The IMCA Modifieds, they're running in Boone, I guess. They're getting ready to run in Boone here along the way. I love what they're doing with this, particularly in the 305s. We see it here at Carolina. And every year I get 2 or 3 people saying, you got to come out, you got to come out. But it falls on Labor Day weekend, and around Motor Racing Network, Labor Day weekend means all hands on deck at Darlington. And it's just, it's one of those that's on the bucket list, but it's one of those where I know that as long as it stays the same and I stay where I'm at, it's never going to get checked off. But it is neat to see what they put together. And with nearly 90 cars showing up, Ashley, that's a pretty stout turnout of sprint cars out there in Nebraska.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You mentioned Boone. The Super Nationals are this weekend. I think the last I saw, there was like 480 cars they're going to have there for Boone Nationals. It's absolutely incredible event. How they farm the track, what the Roots have done with IMCA racing is just pretty monumental.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I get to see some of my friends of the Carolina Sprint Tour over the next month or two, so looking forward to catching up with those guys. They're part of the IMCA program, the Race Saver program. So, and we appreciate Jake Bubak sharing a little bit of his time and passion with us. And he's getting back welding right now, getting those gates built there at the old fab shop. So pretty fun stuff. You know, Ford's racing roots extend all the way back to 1901 when Henry Ford won his first and only race. And then last October, when Donnie Schatz brought a Ford-powered World of Outlaws sprint car across the finish line at Lakeside, and another win was added to the trophy case.
For anyone who loves sprint car racing, that was a banner day. It became clear that the Blue Oval was back on the dirt tracks, and in a big way. With the new FPS 410 engine built in America for a truly American form of racing. Ford is committed more than ever to providing grassroots racing with the contemporary power it craves.
Stay with us. We're going to talk about the Flying Blacksmith when we come back.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Pride. Passion. Performance. We are Team Dryden.
You know, just like racing components and shocks like we just heard about from Tim Shaffer, Aggressive Hydraulics purpose builds hydraulic cylinders to perform for customer-specific applications. Design and manufacture of mobile-style single-stage cylinders as well as multi-stage telescopic cylinders. No one-size-fits-all is the approach that Aggressive Hydraulics uses.
They have solutions for virtually every industry that uses hydraulic cylinders. They proudly design and manufacture all their cylinders right here in the United States. Check out their video of their story at aggressivehydraulics.com, as they're a proud sponsor of Ryan Newman at the Chili Bowl and all his short track racing.
Yes, indeed. Good to have our friends with Aggressive Hydraulics on board with us, as always is the case. Another thing we like to do here on Wing Nation is look back in the history, and we do it via the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame birthday calendar. Earl Hallequist would have had a birthday yesterday, coming up later this week. Roy Bud Grimm and Hector Hinori. We would have John Padgett and Sammy Sessions, Tony Bettenhausen. Hey, we mentioned him earlier. Frankie Kerr has a birthday coming up later this week. Oh, it's going to be a big celebration when Frankie Kerr kicks another trip around the sun off. And today, Larry Dixon and Bill Utz. Okay, Bill Utz was a 2003 inductee into the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Actually, he was known as the Flying Blacksmith. His family was in the horse business, and they also ran a blacksmith shop. In 1958, he built a 1936 Ford Coupe, won the track championship at Sweet Springs, Missouri. 1960s, he started traveling. He was the 1964 Super Modified, which was the forerunner to Sprint Car champion at Knoxville. 1974, 75, and 77 IMCA Sprint Car champion, more than 300 wins and 20 track championships. Ashley, Bill Utz, part of the reason we love the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, because these are the backbone of our sport, and these are guys that are enshrined over in turn number 2 in Knoxville.
Yeah, and it's incredible to know where our sport came from, and we've got to keep that history well and alive. So thanks to the Sprint Car Hall of Fame for providing us with that information. It's incredible to know what our history has really been built on.
Yeah, really, truly is. It is fun. I love getting the chance to do that and talking about guys like Bill Utz, whose birthday is today. So Sprint Car Hall of Fame, you can find out more information at www.sprintcarhof. That's Sprint Car HOF. And also like to remind you that all of their stuff, man, they have got the greatest collection of Sprint Car gear, if you will, books and posters and everything else. You can find them at www.sprintcarstuff.com. That's sprintcarstuff.com. Great stuff from the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. Ashley, what a ball talking to Tim Shaffer and Jake Bubak. Man, I love talking to our race winners here on a Tuesday.
Absolutely. It's always fun to catch up with them. You know, Tim mentioned Frankie Kerr, and I'd love to dig into that someday deeper when he said he used to stay with them. So I'd love to hear the stories that those two shared over the years.
Oh, boy. I'm telling you what, Al Equipment and Frankie Kerr get together. I bet you there's some stories that are not made for wingnation.com.
Precisely.
Yes, exactly. Great stuff, that is for sure. Speaking of great stuff, you can find Wing Nation gear this weekend at Port Royal on the All-Star Circuit of Champions trailer, or you can find it at www.wingnation.com. You can follow along with us on Facebook, on our page, on our group. You can follow on Twitter at Wing Nation. Our YouTube page. Hey, make sure when you're at the racetrack this weekend, you tweet your seat as well and show us what you are seeing. Ashley, I can't wait. And you're going to be stick around and be part of this one, too. We're going to talk with Zan Smith on our Thursday podcast. We're going to talk about a lot of good things and an upcoming wedding and everything. But we're also going to talk about something that she has exposed that I don't like happening at the racetrack. But it's always good to hang out with one of the rocks of the sport, with Jan Smith. Zan Smith. We're going to do that on Thursday.
Yeah, she's always a pleasure to chat to. She keeps it real. You know, that's what I love about her.
Boy, she does. If you want to find out what the story is, just ask Zan. She'll tell you exactly what it is. Finally, Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit coming up on Saturday. Andy Forsberg joins Aaron Evernham and myself as we talk sprint car racing as well. So thanks again to Jake Bubak and to Tim Shaffer for joining us. More important than all of that, thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tire.
Wing Nation has been brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Watch Wing Nation Saturday mornings on MAV TV. You can also find Wing Nation on wingnation.com or your favorite podcast provider. Wing Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.